Hi, in this video I'm going to show you an introduction into how to use the news module in Quotestream. So if we look here, I've set up a bit of a demo workspace and I added a portfolio manager and watch list up at top because that's where we go for our symbol list usually. I have the news module here in the window below, and I've also got the snap quote down here. So I just want to show how there are many ways to look at news within the news window, to know that news has been released, and to look more deeper and filter various news based on per symbol, per portfolio, and so on. So first off, let's look at the news module here. And we can see right now I'm looking at symbol C, that's Citigroup on the New York Stock Exchange. Now you can cycle through by double clicking on some symbols, and you can, in either your portfolio manager and watch list, and that's if you have the symbol set to propagate to other modules, as I've discussed in the preferences video. But here, if we look next, so let's look at Boeing BA. Here's the news, and it's got this little N here. And that little N, if we click it, is going to open up the news window. And this is where you can read the stories. And you're going to see all the same list of news releases here. Now, if we look at the news module and we were to double click on one of the news stories, it's going to open up the same window. And you can cycle through here. So we're looking at all the releases that have come out from Boeing that are related to Boeing, whether it's, press releases or news or commentary. There's quite a few there. You also have the same. So this N is sort of the news indicator. You can see it here next to all these symbols. And that means news has been released for the specific symbol based on your default settings. And that's the same here as in the snap code at the bottom. You can see Boeing symbol, news, 11/27/30. That's the last release. It's the one that we get when we open up the news window, the most recent one. So this little news icon here that opens up and the N, these are like indicators. So it's an indicator that you can have in a list of stocks or in a quote. And so that's based on what you've got set in your filter when you set it up. So we're going to look in the news filter. So in the news module, we have the filter. I'm just going to click on this. It's going to open up. And so what we see here is that we're looking at for symbol BA. And we have all the sources selected here. So whatever is selected in the news source section, and there's quite a few, you can uncheck or check them. Whatever is selected here and checked, and if you were to click this set as default box, that will set it as a default. And when you click OK, the N in the portfolio or the watch list and the news field here in something like a snap quote or quote grid are going to populate when any of these releases come out. So let's take a look at Boeing here. Let's just experiment with Seek. That's Seeking Alpha. So what's going to happen if I go to this Seeking Alpha check mark? And yes, bear with us because it is not alphabetical. Perhaps I've missed it. Now there it is, Seeking Alpha. So I'm going to uncheck this. And I'm going to check set as default. And when I click OK, it should change the time here of the most recent release to 11/13. Let's see. Okay. Well, let's switch back and then switch to BA. There we go. It's because it needed to be refreshed. Sorry about that. It's always great on a demo when it doesn't do what you want it to do, but you understand the function there and how it works. So the N's going to be there if any of these sources release something for this symbol. And same here. It's going to show the most recent. So if we unchecked everything for Boeing going for this whole day, all these sources set as default, clicked OK, that end would disappear. It would only show up when something from the source has a release. So you can fine tune it and pick and choose which sources you want. Let's go back and let's check Seek and Alpha. Bring it back in. And there we go. It updated. So that's a great way to kind of, control your news as it comes in for specific symbols, because it's going to gray out, as you see, once you've checked it. So when you're most up to date for a specific symbol, like let's look at Chevron here, CVX. So once you check it, it doesn't matter if you've read every release, and you can tell the ones that you've read based on, it's grayed out. So even if I went back to Chevron, you could see it's like, okay, I've seen these, I've read these news releases. What else haven't I read? And so when a new news release comes out based on your default settings, it's going to turn blue again. And so you might be watching like a page of stocks or watch list, a portfolio manager. You can use the news indicator to let you know when there's new news up. You also have the ability to do so within the news module itself. And there is many filtration methods to be gained in the news module. And just a reminder, we have it set here in a workspace, but you can also float the news module by clicking float and going to news. And it'll open up a new window here. And you can set that on another screen if you want, or you can just leave it hidden, or you can just integrate it into your daily workspace. Thanks for watching our video. Please subscribe to our channel to see more of our tutorial videos.